Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, True Wellness Hub. If you re over 50 and still forcing yourself to squat because you think it's the best exercise, this might be the reason your knees ache, your back feels stiff, and your workouts leave you exhausted instead of energized. What if the problem isn't you, but the squat itself? Let's start by clearing something up. Squats are not a bad exercise. They've earned their reputation for building strength, muscle, and power. But what works well at 25 doesn't always work the same way at 55 or 65 as we age. Our bodies change in very real, very predictable ways. Joints lose some cushioning, tendons become less elastic, balance isn't quite as sharp, and recovery takes longer. Yet many people continue training exactly the same way they did decades ago, wondering why progress stalls or pain creeps in. After 50, the goal of exercise quietly shifts. It's no longer about lifting the most weight or proving toughness. It's about staying strong without breaking down, protecting your joints, and building muscle that actually supports your daily life. And this is where squats can become a problem for many people. Traditional squats place a large amount of stress on the knees, hips, and lower back all at once. If your ankle mobility is limited, your knees tend to cave inward. If your hips are tight, your lower back compensates. If your core isn't firing well, pressure builds on the spine. When everything moves perfectly, squats can be great. But after 50, perfect movement is harder to achieve consistently. Another issue is depth. Many people force themselves to squat deep because they've been told it's necessary. But deep squats demand excellent hip mobility and knee tolerance. Without those, the joint surfaces take more load than they should. Over time, this can aggravate arthritis, inflame tendons, or trigger old injuries you thought were long gone. There's also the balance factor. Squats require coordination between multiple joints at the same time. Even a small loss of balance can shift stress to the wrong area. It's not just uncomfortable, it increases injury risk. And when confidence drops, people tense up, making the movement even less efficient. Now here's the part most people miss. When they squat, they often think they're training their glutes. But in reality, many over 50 adults turn squats into a knee-dominant exercise. The thighs do most of the work, while the glutes underperform. That means you get the joint stress without the full muscle benefit. Strong glutes are essential for protecting the knees, hips, and lower back. Ironically, squats don't always activate them well in older adults. As we age, a phenomenon called muscle inhibition becomes more common. Long periods of sitting, past injuries, and reduced activity can cause the glutes to switch off. When that happens, the body finds backup muscles, usually the lower back and quads, to do the work. Squats then reinforce the imbalance instead of fixing it. This is why many people over 50 say, squats just don't feel right anymore. That feeling matters. Pain is not a badge of honor. It's feedback. And ignoring it doesn't make you stronger, it just delays the consequences. Another overlooked factor is recovery. Squats are demanding on the nervous system. They fatigue multiple muscle groups at once. In your 20s or 30s, you might recover in a day. After 50, that same workout can leave you sore for 4 or 5 days. When recovery lags, consistency suffers, and consistency is what actually keeps you strong as you age. There's also a mental side to this. If an exercise feels intimidating or uncomfortable, people avoid it. They train less often, or they rush through workouts. Exercise should build confidence, not anxiety. A movement you dread is not a sustainable movement. This doesn't mean you should never squat again. It means squats shouldn't automatically be the foundation of every lower body workout after 50. The smarter approach is choosing exercises that give you the benefits. Squat strong glutes, stable hips, functional strength without unnecessary joint stress. And here's the good news. There are exercises that target the glutes more directly, place less strain on the knees and spine, and are easier to control. These movements improve posture, balance, and everyday strength in a way that carries over to real-life walking, climbing stairs, standing up from a chair. When you train this way, something interesting happens. Knee pain often decreases. Lower back tightness eases. Balance improves. People realize they don't actually miss squats at all. This shift is not about doing less. It's about doing better. Training smarter instead of harder. Listening to your body instead of fighting it. What your body really needs after 50 is not more punishment, it needs better support. And that support starts with the glutes. The glute muscles are the largest and most powerful muscles in the body, but they also the ones most likely to weaken with age if they not trained correctly. When the glutes are strong and active, they act like shock absorbers for the knees, hips, and lower back. When they're weak, those joints take the hit. This is where traditional squats often fall short. They look like a glute exercise, but for many people over 50, they don't actually do the job very well. Because of tight hips, stiff ankles, or years of sitting, the body shifts the load forward. The knees bend more, the torso leans, and the quads and lower back take over. The glutes stay quiet. Over time, this imbalance gets worse, not better. Instead of asking how much can I squat, better question becomes, can my glutes actually do their job? Because if they can't, no amount of squatting will fix the problem. This is why glute-focused exercises tend to work better after 50. They allow you to isolate and reawaken muscles that have been underused for years. They also reduce unnecessary strain on joints that may already be sensitive. When the glutes fire properly, movement becomes smoother, stronger, and more pain-free. Another key change after 50 is how the body handles load. Heavy vertical loading like barbell squats compresses the spine and joints. That's not automatically dangerous, but it does require excellent technique, mobility, and recovery capacity. Many people no longer have all three working in their favor. Glute-focused movements often distribute load more horizontally or through one side of the body at a time, which reduces spinal compression while still building strength. Single leg and hip-dominant movements also improve balance and coordination, which naturally decline with age if they're not trained. Squats use both legs equally, which can hide weaknesses. Glute-focused exercises expose and correct them. That's crucial for preventing falls and staying independent. There's also the issue of range of motion. Squats demand a deep bend at the knees and hips simultaneously. Many people over 50 don't have that range comfortably anymore, and forcing it can inflame joints. Glute-focused movements allow you to work within a pain-free range while gradually improving mobility, not fighting against it. Let's talk about daily life for a moment. Most real-world movements don't look like squats. Standing up from a chair, walking uphill, carrying groceries, climbing stairs, these actions rely heavily on the glutes pushing the hips forward. Training that pattern directly has more carryover than endlessly practicing a perfect squat you never use outside the gym. And then there's confidence. When people switch away from exercises that cause pain and toward movements that feel strong and controlled, something changes mentally. They stop fearing workouts, stop bracing for discomfort. That confidence leads to better consistency, and consistency is the true secret to aging well. So if squats aren't always the best choice after 50, what should you focus on instead? The answer isn't quitting lower body training. It's choosing movements that build strength where you need it most, with the least amount of wear and tear. Again, that brings us back to the glutes. One of the most effective shifts you can make is prioritizing hip-dominant exercises over knee-dominant ones. Hip-dominant movements train the glutes to drive motion, rather than asking the knees to absorb it. This simple change often brings immediate relief to people who've struggled with knee or lower back discomfort for years. Another important change is stability. As we age, stability becomes just as important as strength. Exercises that keep your feet planted, but allow your hips to move freely, help retrain balance and coordination without putting you in vulnerable positions. When you feel stable, your body relaxes, and when your body relaxes, muscles fire the way they're supposed to. Volume and recovery also matter more than intensity. Instead of doing a few heavy sets of squats that leave you sore for days, glute-focused exercises allow you to train more often with less fatigue. This leads to better muscle activation, improved circulation, and faster recovery. Over time, that consistency builds more usable strength than occasional allowed efforts ever could. It's also worth addressing the ego side of training. Many people hold on to squats because they're symbolic. They represent strength. Letting go can feel like giving something up. But real strength after 50 ISNT, about numbers on a Barrett, is about how your body feels when you get out of bed, how confidently you move, and how long you can stay active without pain. When people replace squats with glute-focused training, they often notice improvements they didn't expect. Walking feels easier. Stairs don't burn the knees as much. The lower back feels supported instead of tight. These changes aren't accidental. They're the result of restoring proper muscle balance. This doesn't mean squats are completely off the table forever. Some people can still squat comfortably with modifications, shallower depth, slower tempo, or support for balance. But squats become an option, not a requirement. That mindset shift is powerful. At this stage of life, your workouts should serve you, not the other way around. The best exercise is the one you can do consistently, safely, and confidently. If squats no longer meet that standard, it's not a failure, it's feedback. At the end of the day, it's getting stronger after 50 isn't about clinging to old rules. It's about adapting to what your body actually needs now. Squats earn their place in fitness history, but they're not a requirement for staying strong, mobile, or healthy as you age. And for many people, they're simply not the smartest choice anymore. Real strength after 50 shows up in everyday life. It's getting up from a chair without effort, walking confidently without knee pain, carrying groceries without your back tightening up, feeling stable, capable, and in control of your body. Those things matter far more than how much weight you can squat. When you shift your focus toward glute strength, joint-friendly movements, and exercises that feel good instead of punishing, something powerful happens. Your body starts working with you instead of against you. Pain becomes less frequent. Movement becomes smoother. Confidence comes back. This isn't about doing less. It's about doing what works, training smarter, respecting recovery, choosing longevity over ego. Guess the goal isn't just to be strong today, to stay strong for decades to come. So if squats don't feel right anymore, listen to that signal. Your body isn't giving up on you. It's asking you to train differently. And when you do, you may discover that feeling strong after 50 is not only possible, it's sustainable.